Alrighty. Oh, washing machine's on. Here we go. Hello and welcome to my brand new YouTube channel. I'm new to YouTube, the channel's new, everything's new. Really happy to have you here. So the purpose of me being here, the purpose of this whole channel is essentially to share my weight loss journey with the world / the 6 people who watch this. That's fine. This is by no means the first attempt to share a weight loss journey with the interweb. I started an Instagram account a few years ago called The Bite Size Project, and that was about documenting my weight loss journey. It was great, it still is great. I really enjoy it. I like posting, I like sharing, I like the idea of potentially helping people. I also like scrolling through Instagram if you follow the right types of accounts and getting tips, advice, learning from other people's mistakes, etc. So I would like to provide the same kind of service, I guess. And whilst I've enjoyed the Instagram so far, I don't think it's quite the right platform for me to help as many people as I potentially could. So here we are on YouTube. Very exciting stuff. So a bit of background, I've always loved food. I've almost always had an issue with food in that I use it as a source of comfort, not just nourishment. So I remember like year 4, I'm pretty sure, I went on my first diet. But the fact that I had associated food with being negative and a problem, and that, you know, I didn't look the way that I should in year 4 is just ridiculous. But that's where it started, my unhealthy relationship with food and body image. It kind of went away for most of primary school. I didn't really have that much of an issue. I was very aware of my body and aware of my weight. And I guess I went on a few diets here and there, but it didn't consume me. When I went to high school, it did start consuming me a bit more. I would binge and then restrict. You know, I'd go from like having carrot sticks every day for lunch and then going to the tuck shop and filling my pockets with giant Freddos. Like, it was one or the other. And there was not much time when I was just eating to stay alive. It was eating to comfort. It was restricting to lose weight. It was obsessive. It kind of took over, and that has not stopped. So it's followed me all through my adult life. And then in 2013, I moved to Sydney and I lived with one of my best friends. And I had also booked a trip to Europe. And getting back from Europe to living in Sydney, where I was a full-time student, was the first time I had experienced proper financial hardship and proper stress. And it just absolutely threw me to the curb. I was in such a bad way. And despite the support from, you know, my wonderful housemate and friend, I just spiraled and I did not know what was going on. I had no concept of what depression or anxiety was at the time. So I was just frustrated at myself for feeling shit. And of course I ate and I gained a lot of weight, and same pattern, I've just continued gaining weight since then. The difference is, a few years ago, I decided to stop that approach of restricting and binging and trying to go on as many diets as I could and lose weight as quickly as I could. And I wanted to change my whole relationship with food and with exercise and my body image. So I stopped dieting and I really focused on eating to nourish and focused on health as opposed to just being in a smaller body. And that has changed so much for me. It's not just about the weight loss anymore. It's about everything. It's about how much I value my health. It's about what I want in my life going forward. It's about what's important to me. So over the last few years, kind of, let's say, launching this health journey and documenting it via Instagram, I haven't lost any weight. In fact, I think I've gained a bit of weight, but we'll find out on weigh-in day very soon. But the amount I've learned has been invaluable, absolutely invaluable. As I just said, like learning about my life and what I want and what's important to me, that's a huge part of it. But also who I am and who I am when I relate to food, and trying to change that has not been a linear journey. So I assumed when I started my Instagram, I would just start posting and the more I would post, the more I would lose, and within like a few months I'd be well on my way to, you know, getting in that goal weight range. And that did not happen. But that's okay. I've learned a lot. Fast forward to August 2021. My partner and I are living in an apartment in Brisbane. We've just moved to Brisbane. Side note, moving interstate was really stressful and took me a lot longer than I thought to find a job. And we were, you know, living with my parents for a while in Adelaide and then living with Steve's parents for a while in Brisbane, and we just felt so out of whack and out of schedule. And then with the unemployment came a lot of stress as well. So that's a big cause of my recent weight gain as well. Has just been a very stressful last few months, like some of the most stressful in my whole life. So yeah, I guess it's pointed out the fact that, you know, even though my relationship with food and exercise has changed a lot on good days and on most days, it just goes to show that when things got really hard, I still turned to food. So my work here is not done, but I am in a much better place now. I have a job, full-time job, which is super exciting. And we have our own place and we're finally starting to settle into Brisbane. So I feel like I'm in such a good place now to really level up, really stop with the weight gain and start with the weight loss. But along with that, just improve my health overall. I want to lose weight. I want to improve my fitness. I want to improve my mobility, my flexibility. I want to get my mental health on track. I want to do everything. I just want to improve my life. I have this idea of the life I want to live, and as cliche as it sounds, I'm literally the only thing standing in my own way, and I'm so over it. It's time to start a new journey. I want to take you guys through this journey with me, through the highs and the lows and the progress and the setbacks. I would love for even just one person to benefit from this channel, to learn something, to feel encouraged, to feel motivated, to potentially cut years off their weight loss journey, learning from my mishaps. And I say losing weight is such a big part of my health journey because I am quite overweight. So as much as losing weight is not the be all and end all to health or happiness or life goals, it's absolutely not. But for someone who is overweight or obese, and their weight is getting in the way of not just their health, but also who they are, their confidence, how they live their life, then of course losing weight is going to help. Of course it's going to contribute to better health. Of course it's going to contribute to a happier and more fulfilling life. But by all means, I'm not suggesting that weight loss is the way for everyone to be happier and healthier. In fact, in many cases, that's not the case. So this is for people who are struggling with their weight or at a weight that inhibits their health, impacts their life negatively. If you are someone who is overweight and you're actually living your best life and you have no intention of losing weight, then that's fantastic. Absolutely all power to you, but this is not the channel for you. I mean, maybe it is for entertainment purposes, but yeah, just keep that in mind. I'm really excited to lose some serious kgs, and I'm excited to get fit and healthy because of the way I'm going to feel physically, the way I'm going to feel mentally, the fact that I can start doing things that I love doing but haven't done for a very long time because of my weight. For example, like things like hiking, yoga, running, things that technically I could do now but are not as comfortable, not as safe, not as enjoyable. So I'm really ready to start living a life that's more values aligned with my hobbies and my passions. So that's great. And I'm just gonna get a little bit deep here, but as I have gained weight, I have felt a disconnection with myself. Obviously, as time goes on, we change, we all change, and that's largely a really good thing because we're meant to evolve and become different people. But I feel like over the last, let's say 5 to 8 years, maybe not that long, let's just say over the last few years, the parts of myself I really liked and really wanted to maintain have slowly slipped away. Things like my confidence, love and respect for myself, my zest for life. I feel like I used to be this kind of joyful, energetic, happy person, and since I have gained so much weight, it's just, I'm not that person anymore, and I feel like I'm living in the shadow of who I used to be, and I really want those parts of me back. And again, I'm not saying that if you gain weight, you become sad and unhappy and you lose your joy. Absolutely not. This is more big picture. This is the fact that through gaining weight, and I'm talking like a lot of weight. This is not just the old like 5-10 kilos over 2 years. This is like significant amounts of weight. So that has, as I said before, as I touched on before, that has affected my ability to do things that I love. And when you stop doing things you love, you get a little bit sad. So in that way, it's impacted my ability to be the person I really want to be and do the things I really want to do. So of course that's going to impact my health. It's not a direct oh my goodness. It is not a direct correlation with like each kilo you gain, you will be 10% less happy or whatever. It's not about that. Also the health aspect, you know, I have high cholesterol, which I have never, ever had before in my life. So that's really concerning, and I really want to get that down, and that's largely due to weight as well. Having COVID hit and knowing that being overweight puts you in a higher risk factor, that is super concerning for me. I have had some weird chronic respiratory thing for like 3 years, which is concerning given COVID, but also the fact that the reason it won't go away is because I'm overweight. That's what the doctor said, but I didn't need to hear that from the doctor. I knew there are just so many things that my body is not doing to its best ability, and I know it's a direct result of being overweight. I am so looking forward to starting this journey, and I'm actually really looking forward to putting it on YouTube and filming and just chatting. All the mistakes behind me, all the things not to do behind me, and it's time to start looking forward, learning from that, taking the last few years especially into account, and really drop some kg. So my friends, this is where I will leave the first video. If you are ready to level up, get out of your own way, and just really get the fuck on with living your life, then this is the channel for you. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope I'll see you next time for the weigh-in.